Hello and welcome to Finland, the circuit of Hyvinkää, where it's round 12 of the FIM MX1 MX2 Motocross World Championship. And welcome to our live show once again on MX Live TV, where this week my guests will be Davide Guarneri, Stephan Everts and Max Anstey from Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe. Max is going to be my first guest. So Max, first of all, race one, how was it? Brand new track as well for everybody.
Yeah, it's a nice place, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. I struggled a little bit at the start. I think I was 30th or something around the first corner, they told me. And I just kept plugging away and working it as best as I could. And I eventually got up to 11th, which was all right for me. I mean, it's not where I want to be. I obviously want to be right up front. And I think this track's a good track for me. But you know, I come from a little ways behind. But I'm working it. I got another moto to go, so. Reaction's going to be like lightning out there over this gate, and hopefully I can get around the first corner a little bit better this time.
How is the track? It's sandy. Normally I'd have said this is your kind of place.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, everywhere's my sort of place.
Right.
I can ride anywhere, so.
But obviously a lot of people saying yesterday a lot shorter than a normal circuit in terms of lap times, but it's got bumpy, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, I think that's good, to be honest, because you know, I learned when I used to race in Holland, the narrower the track, the more lines and the more options you seem to have, and it's quite a good place because you do have outsides, insides, places to pass, and obviously we're doing 22, 23. I don't even know how many laps, but we're doing quite a few laps.
What about the season so far? It seems, looking at the results, it's been a story of two halves, season of two halves. The first half up to maybe Portugal, you were 9 times inside the top 10, and since then it's been the other way, 9 times outside the top 10. We've got images here from sort of the season so far for you. What's your take on it all up to date?
You know, I think I came in hot at the beginning of the season because, you know, I raced Supercross and I was prepped. You know, I was on it early on. You know, I honestly feel like I'm in a good place right now. I've got a good base, a good setup back in England where I can go and do my training. I feel happy with. I've surrounded myself with good people, and I think that's helping me. And every time I go out on the track, you know, it's like Formula One. Every time I go out on the track, I'm a very consistent rider. I do the same thing. I ride with the same intensity and the same level. So, you know, okay, we're struggling a little bit at the moment. We've had some good races, like there in Bulgaria was a good race. But you know, the team and I are working hard to resolve the issue, and hopefully we can, hopefully we can be where we should be up front pretty soon and before the end of the season. Obviously, it's a little bit of a shame that it's taking its time at the moment, but I can't thank the guys enough. You know, everyone's worked hard. Honestly, Jens, has done such a good job. He's a really good team manager, and you know, he's working with everything that he has. He's done everything that he can, and me, I go and do my training. I feel good. I'm fit. I'm healthy, and I'm going to go out and just attack each session and attack each race how I know how to do it. Wherever I am on the track, I just focus on my thing and bounce around there as fast as I can.
It must be frustrating for you though, being where you are at the moment, knowing that you're a top 5 at least kind of guy in MX2.
Oh yeah, it is. It's bloody hard to get through the week. You wouldn't understand it. I'm waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, going training, thinking, God, what have I got to do? What have I got to do to get to the next step? But you know, I believe it's making me stronger, and I just need to put myself in a position. And at the moment, I'm not being able to put myself in a position around the first corner to go and be up front. I'm battling through it, and I'm working hard with it, and I think it's teaching me. You know, okay, I'm 20 now, and I think, oh, you know, I want it now. Yeah. But I do believe that everything I'm taking as an experience, and I'm learning, and I do believe that for the future, for next year, I do believe I will be stronger and more prepared than ever.
You talk about what you've got to do in the week, but it's not just there, it's also qualifying. I think you've had like 3 top 5 or top 6 qualifying race,
I know,
and the rest have been. But some of that, you're just unlucky, aren't you? Yesterday, first turn, for instance.
No, it's a shame. I know Jeffrey did a flying W. I don't even know what he done. I was just running to the back of him, and then my front brake kind of got locked up a little bit. So again, it was just one of those things. But I still believe you make your own luck, and if I was out in front of him, I don't think that would have happened. So, but you know, all I can do is keep digging, keep working, and you know, at the end of the day, you never know how close you are, and it's when things seem worse that you can't lay down and can't lay down and quit, and I'm standing up each time I go out on that track. No matter who's in front of me, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to pass them.
Despite all that, though, you have had 2 third-place finishes, 2 race podiums, Thailand and Valkenswaard. How was the track in Thailand, and you know, what were your experiences there and then also in Valkenswaard?
Thailand was good. I mean, everyone was a bit out of their element there. It was hot. I like it hot, you know. I like it when the conditions are difficult. It's what I train in the off season. You know, I go back to the States with my dad, and he has me flipping tyres, running up mountains at 110 degrees. So it's what I'm used to. And I think when it comes down to it, you know, everyone gets a little bit mentally tired. And I think that's the same sort of thing also at Lierop or something like that. You know, it gets so difficult after 20 minutes just to keep the rhythm, to keep the mental focus going. And I feel like I'm quite strong with that. So that's what helps. I prefer it to be a little bit hotter today, to be honest. But no, it's all good fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm happy to be here, and I just want to go out and race my bike.
With the second race that's coming up, we've got 5.5 GPs left. We've already had a tough 3 weeks on the road, but you know, I think it was like 8 GPs in 11 weeks on the schedule. Yeah. So 5.5 GPs left. What's the plan now? I mean, we're not racing next week, so have you got time to test?
No, we don't have anything to test at the moment. You know, Jens is working hard to try and get some bits to test, but at the moment we are where we are, so just got to make the best of it and go out and race. I've heard that the next one apparently is supposed to be also sandy, like in a stadium. I don't know. They're doing road racing today, aren't they? It's MotoGP today.
Well, that's Saxon Ring, but Lausitz Ring is a similar thing. Road race, motocross circuit.
It's not the same place.
No.
Oh,
but yeah, I think you've heard it's probably sand. But after that, we've got a load of hard pack tracks apart from Lierop. Lierop on the agenda for you, looking to hopefully get a decent result to round out the season.
I'm looking to get a decent result now in 10 minutes. One weekend at a time. I'm just going from race to race, and you know, I've got my plan in the week that I've got to do, and you know, I can't go out and drastically change anything in my week because I'm strong. You know, I feel good, and I know I'm technically good at the jumps and stuff like that. I mean, if we went to Supercross, I'm sure, you know, all round I'm solid. Just go back and do another 100 starts, I guess. Yeah,
you did podium at Lierop last year, of course. 2 third places.
Yeah.
I guess one of your favourite tracks on the calendar?
Yeah, no, it is. I do like Lierop. I like. I don't dislike any of them. I find bits that I enjoy with everywhere. You know, you can go from Checo, which is completely different style, to Matterley Basin, which is just awesome with the jumps and stuff like that, and then Lierop, I just love railing them berms. And I remember watching this guy ride around there when I was a little baby, and you know, feet on the pegs. You know, I really studied obviously Stefan a lot back in the day, and I worked it when I was little on 85s, and I think there's bits from everywhere that you can take, and I enjoy everywhere.
Got a couple of questions for you from Twitter. Jake Edel, what's wrong with Max's bike? He starts last every weekend, or that's obviously the perception. So what can you say to Jake Edel?
You know.
Is it reactions, or is it are you getting out dragged? I mean, I guess with a start it can be a lot of things, can't it? You know, it can be a reaction, it can be the gear, and it can be bad luck in the first turn, like you've had a lot.
No, I just think it might just be a glitch in the galaxy. You know, I just think I'm getting held back by something. Maybe Jesus is not allowing me to be free at the moment.
One Motion MX and Will Spencer, very similar. What's the reason for sort of poor results, and what other issues have you had this year? And do you have a deal sorted for 2014 yet?
Nothing sorted for next year. You know, like I said, I'm focused on 1 week at a time, and at the end of the day, okay, it's frustrating in the week, but every time I come to the weekend, I'm happy, and I feel good in myself, and I know when I go out on the track, I give it 100% and do my best, and I know when I'm hitting my lines and riding well, I come in from the race wherever I am, and I can say, okay, I rode well, and I feel like I've achieved my goals, which, you know, I think right now, I think the goal is to just work it double time and keep the feet fast and bounce around the track and be electric out there. And if I come in after this moto and think, okay, I executed those few goals, then wherever I finish, that's what it is.
All right, well, look, I know you've got to get ready for MX2 race 2. So Max Anstey, Rockstar Energy, Suzuki Europe, MX2 rider, thanks for joining us here.
No problem. I'll go put on a show for you in a minute. I'll do some massive scrubs over this finish jump now. It looks like they've graded it. And watch out, I'm coming around that first corner in front this time.
There you go, confidence at its highest level.
Yeah.
So thanks for Max, entertaining as always, and hope you get your issues sorted and enjoy race 2 and the rest of the season.
Yeah, there's no stopping me. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Well, look, while Max gets himself out of here, just see if our cameras can pan out and look at the venue itself, because I'm going to welcome Stephan Everts, our team manager for MX2 Red Bull KTM. Okay, Max, you can just disappear across the camera. That's fine. Don't worry. And also we'll welcome Davide Guarneri as well. So first of all, we'll come to you, Stefan. I guess the only place we can start, really, MX2, so far so good this year, eh?
Yes, really, really good. You know, Jeffrey dominating the season like he did so far is unbelievable. Winning last year his first championship, and coming into this year, we expected him to lose a bit of motivation because, yeah, Tommy Searle had to move up, and a few other top guys from the MX2, and was not really some top guys left. But Jeffrey just continued to work hard during the winter and during the weeks, and he keeps very motivated every week to perform at his best, and that's very impressive.
Obviously, he's a defending champion and running away with it at the moment. But what about Jordi Tixier? Are you pleased with his progress so far over last year?
Yes, very much. You know, last year our ambition was top 5, and that's what we did. This year the ambition was top 3, and at the moment he's second in the standings. He started off a bit difficult in Qatar and Thailand. He was a bit under pressure from himself, but he managed to come through that, and you know, for a while he was off the podium in Ernée and Majora, but the last few GPs he's back on track, and also today, this first moto, he rode extreme well. After that crash in the first lap, he came through all the pack till 5th place, close to Jake Nichols and Dean Ferris at the end. So he had a big charge through the whole moto, and you see that this work from the last year and a half is slowly starting to pay off.
But what was more impressive about that is the fact that it was in the sand, not on the hard pack, which 12 months ago he would have probably picked himself up and maybe finished 10th.
Yeah, that's true. You know, the whole family Tixier is willing to work together with us, and that's really nice. And you know, I said from the beginning, you need to put your base down in Belgium in the sand. That's where you teach all the basics, and sand riding is the toughest of all. And when you're really fit in that, you know, you can go and race any track. And you know, he's from France, and they know how to ride hard tracks. So we don't need to go there. We need to go in the sand and hit some berms, and you know, put in some long 40-minute motos, and that's what he's been doing. At times it's been a bit difficult for him, but sometimes I had to give him a kick in the ass. But you know, he accepted it, and he worked for it.
Yeah. He wants to stay. Well, Jeffrey's staying MX2 next year. We know that. But Tixier, before all these decisions were made about the ruling and Jeffrey being able to stay down as a defending champion again, Jordi said that he could win in 2014. That's his goal. Can he, realistically?
Well, if Jeffrey is staying like he is now in 2014, it's going to be, of course, a tough job for Jordi to kick his ass. But you never know. You know, things change quick, and you know, it's a dangerous sport, and injuries very fast happen. But to get away from an injury takes a long time, and Jeffrey now he's been off injuries for a long time, and hopefully he will stay in the future also. But you know, next year we start off with a new season, and I think Jordi is every weekend he's progressing, and he's coming better, and he's coming strong fitness-wise. and he still have to work a lot on the speed compared to Jeffrey, but I think next year the gap will be smaller and smaller.
Back to Jeffrey. At the moment, he's won 11 GPs in a row this year. I think you hold the record, 12 in a row from 2006. Until you got beat, I think, by, was it Josh in Desert Martin in Northern Ireland?
Yes, yes.
I don't want to bring that up, but I have to, because my next question, obviously, Jeffrey, if he wins today the second race or wins the overall Grand Prix, that will tie you. I guess it had to go, didn't it, if that's the case? But well, is that on his mind? Does he know that? Have you discussed?
Yeah, I know it's on his mind. You know, there's a lot of things on his mind, and he wants to bring on the perfect season. And he had a few not wins, you know, so he was quite disappointed with not winning every motor so far. But you know, tying those 12 wins in a row, of course, is on his mind. And the only thing I can say, records are made to be broken, and it's going to be quite fast and by my own rider.
A lot of it comes from the start as well, but a lot of it as well is he's just pure talent. But he had some issues earlier on in the season, didn't he, with the starts? He seems to have got those sorted now. Was that bike problems? Were you trying different things, try and give him that extra advantage, or was it just his technique that was just letting him down?
Well, from last year to this year, we went down with the DC bells, so we had to go 2 dBs down.
Yeah.
And that made it again hard for the engineers to still find that bottom performance. And yeah, the bikes are different this year compared to last year, and they are not as quick as off the gate like last year. And we struggled, and we've been testing a few things on the engine. And you know, after some GPs, we went in another direction. Also with Jordi. Jordi is normally also a good starter, but it's a bit up and down. It's not as consistent as in the past, and I think in Austria the engineers they are searching and looking for new horsepowers for the future, and try and bring the KTM stronger in the bottom. And but I think it's not only KTM; it's for every manufacturer and every team, every bike. They have this problem, so it's for everyone the same. So.
They did change the rule recently, so obviously that keeps Jeffrey in MX2 for next year, and I guess as long as he wants to stay in it at the moment. You know, I mean, you worked for what, 15, 16 years to notch up 101 GP victories. He's fast closing in on the likes of, let's say, even this year, he's already become the most successful Dutch rider. You know, 27 now. He wins today, he does become, you know, 28 times a winner. You know, he continues this season, and next year he's going to be all over the back of you know, the likes of Joel Robert and Joel Smets, and in no time at all could be, you know, almost, again, we're talking about records, the fastest to reach 50 or the fastest to reach 30, or
and also,
you know,
not to forget, he's going to be 19 in September. Exactly. So he's still very, very young, so still a long way to go for him. And like you say, the records can be there soon.
Yeah. And before we talk about something else, I know we've got next week something planned for you, but same 2 riders next year in MX2, Jordi and Jeffrey, or is that still up for discussion at the moment?
No, that's all clear. You know, Jeffrey will stay another 2 years, and next year in MX2 together with Jordi Tixier. So we're going to have the same lineup and the same team.
Okay. Free weekend next weekend. You have a...
Not for me.
Not for you. Why is that? Because, well, you can tell us, can't you, why?
Well, we have the 8th edition from Everts and Friends.
8th already?
The 8th, yes. It's a charity race.
Yeah.
So I've invited a lot of GP riders who will be there to join us.
And where's that?
It's going to be in Genk, where we used to have the GP there. Also this year was the GP sidecar there. It's next to the very famous karting track where Schumacher and all the big F1 stars were there. But we're also going to have a very big F1 star there next week, and that's Kimi Räikkönen. Okay. He's going to come out to the race. And
your new best friend?
Yes, he's a really big fan of motocross, and it's really nice to see him around on the tracks. And I really enjoy that he's so much passion for the sport, and it's cool to see.
Well, we just saw the poster there for the charity race. I was just expecting, well, we got it there, look, the website on the bottom, evertsandfriends.be.
Yeah, there's a lot of more things happening, of course. Not only the GP stars we can see, but we also have the Golden Hero, so we have a lot of twin shocks going out there. We have a scooter race, we call it the fun bikes. They're all dressed up. So it's quite funny to see you know, Superman flying around, or Tony Carioli dressed up like a funny guy.
And all your KTM guys will be there?
All the KTM guys. We have even Paul Gauthier who's coming out. We have a lot of other top guys from the MX1 and MX2. Yes, I mean, there's a lot of things to see that day. We have a big signing session. I'm going to be also out racing for the day. That's the only time in the year that I'm still racing.
Okay.
So
just looking at these images now before we move on to our next guest. When you see images now of the time that you were racing, because you retired at the end of 2006,
yes.
What kind of emotions does it bring back to you?
Yes, sometimes a lot.
Depends on the image, I guess, because then
yes.
you know what year.
Yeah, I mean, that year was for me the best year of 18 years. I dominated the whole year, and I've won my 10th championship, 101 GPs, and it was such a fun year, farewell year for me to the fans all over the world.
Also won the GP of Belgium, where you clinched the title.
Yes, exactly. Namur, my favorite track of all time, most technical, demanding track ever. Unfortunately, it's not be raced anymore.
Yeah. Is that depending on the government and who's in office?
I think depending on many things.
Yeah. Okay, well, look, Stephan Everts, I know you've got to go down and join your riders down on the grid because they're getting ready for MX2 race 2.
So next week, Everts and friends, try to be there. It's a cool event. It's for everyone, especially for families. 15 euros entry, very important for us. We have a lot of kids there, so don't miss it.
And if you need more information, go to evertsandfriends.be.
Exactly.
Perfect. Right, we're going to move on. Stefan, you can dismiss yourself and
thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend. No problem. Thanks for coming in.
No.
Right, my third and final guest, Davide Guarneri, has been sat there very, very patiently. And to be honest, I wasn't sure if he was going to be here at all today because he rode free practice yesterday. And he didn't ride the pre-qualifying, didn't ride the qualifying race. You did a couple laps in free practice this morning, the warm-up, and you were having problems with the ankle. So I was actually surprised when I saw your name in the list, in the results, and that you're actually in the points as well. So what's the injury, and when did you collect it?
First, hello to everybody.
Yeah. Just move the microphone just a little bit closer.
Yes, I'm happy to be here, and also
that's good.
Happy to I was in the track for the first hit. Yes, everything started in the beginning of the year when I crashed in Mantova in the Star Cross and I injured my ankle. I have a 2 micro fracture and a spread ligament, and you know, after that I was recovering slowly, and finally I get health like close to 2 months ago when my results also started getting better, and luckily the last 3 laps of Latvian GP I twist my ankle again really bad. I managed to finish 15, but just because I was quite in front, I had a quite good gap. I was thinking to recovery better this week, but the ankle was really swollen. Actually, it's nothing broken bad, but when you have to fixing the ligament and when you hurt your ankle after a old injury is always tough. I prefer to not ride yesterday because free practice was so hard to me, and also when I was like touching the feet on the ground was really hard. But you know, after I was happy to can race the first hit. Was not my rhythm, was not my pace. I was quite slow, but in the end, you know, the rhythm here is the good stuff. I was low but consistent. My lap was not make a big gap, and in the end I managed to get some points. It's better than nothing. Motocross sometimes is harder, also in this way, and we try to keep going, and if I reach some point again in the second heat, it will be okay.
Just looking at images from Maggiora, just your home race a couple of weeks ago. What was it like riding there with the crowd, the atmosphere, and of course you and Davide Philippaerts rode with 86 graphics, so your what is normally an orange KTM looked like a 1986 white and blue machine. Whose idea was that? Was that yours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always fancy the old school, like old school stuff from old time. My style also is not like new age.
How was it riding an old school track then that day?
Yeah, for me it's okay. You know, if you see also my results from France and Sweden, and on the older kind of track, like traditional track, I'm always fast. But you know, it was quite nice because many many guys from the public come to me, and a few guys say also, you make me cry with that jersey, and that make me proud also because they come maybe after remember the old time there in Majora, and if I can bring him back to them some memories, for me it's great. Also, we did quite good races, then I was happy about that.
You are the best placed, well, before the first race anyway, you were the best placed Italian after Tony Cairoli. Philippaerts was only 3 or 4 points behind you. Are you proud of that?
You know, I'm not really looking a fight for other Italian guy, but you know, for me it was good to be in the top 10. Me and Marchetti Racing we are a private team. We have to say thanks to KTM and KTM Italy also, because they help us. But the team is working slowly, but step by step we go in the right direction. We did a quite good bike. Bike is competitive. We are also lucky because KTM exit already with a really good 450 stock bike. Then we will just make a small improvement, but all that small improvement work. And you know, he's happy when I'm the second best Italian rider, but that is not the point I'm racing. My point of racing is to be more in front as possible in the overall and more in front as possible in the race. For sure, if you beat Tony Cairoli, means you fight for the World Championship, and maybe you win. But you know, we try to get in the top 10 more hit as possible to do it.
You've won a MX2 GP before, and you finished 4th in the World Championship in MX2 in 2009, your best season to date. Then you moved up to MX1. Were you surprised how much tougher being a fast MX2 guy it is, you know, moving into MX1?
Yes.
Because people think MX1 is, you know, guys just cruising around, not full gas, but it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure it's difficult, especially in the track of today when they're coming really rough. It's not really like we don't push the bike, and honestly we push the bike quite on the limit, but with a lot of power you cannot go flat out. There is also like a speed, like a kind of speed limit. When there is a big bumps or big ruts, if you have also 1000 horsepower, you cannot go flat out there. And for me, for sure, if I could make a different choice, like if the rules didn't come up, maybe I would stay in MX2 because I always feeling great and I was coming really good in MX2 in that time. I'm feeling great also in MX1. It's just all the top riders is coming up, all the really good riders stay, and for sure it's coming tougher and tougher every year. We try I try to get faster, to be better every year also, like everyone's doing. But like also, I think Searle and the other people could see MX2 is really tough now, and it's hard to get top 5. Is really hard.
When you look at 10, 15 years ago, or certainly when I was riding, the 125, 250 classes used to be stacked with Italian riders. There's just you, Tony, and Davide now that are doing Grand Prix on a regular basis. What's the future for Italian motocross riders and, you know, coming into the World Championship?
I think it's really tough because one thing I have to say, in that time was a lot of hardpack track, a lot of traditional track. In Italy we have almost only the hardpack track, and that was helping us, like us and French rider. But now, you know, the track is coming harder, it's coming tougher, almost all the time are soft, and you know, it's difficult to make the step up from the European Championship. If you see also in the last years, in the 125 and the EMX2, we had the good riders, and like Zecchina, Bernardini, but to make the step up in the World Championship, maybe it's not big gap, maybe are not 5-6 seconds, or maybe just 2-3 seconds, but it's not easy. Now we are, Lupino is riding really well in MX2, and that he's still quite young, then it's okay for us. And Monticelli, especially in the sand, he had a great style. But you know, the young rider, I'm hoping somebody can make a big step, because right now in the European Champion, they are struggling a bit. I always hope some Italian good rider, especially young rider, can come up, and because especially Antonio is riding super well, and me and Davide, I think especially me, I'm fighting hard, and I will racing till I like to race, and I find out the contracts. And but you know, in 10 years we have to, for sure, somebody else have to come, and I hope there are many and maybe more than now.
Okay, well, look, we are out of time. So, Davide Guarneri, Mxgp Racing KTM, thanks for joining us here. Also, thanks to my other guest, Stephan Everts, who's team manager for MX2, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, of course, Max Anstey as well, Rockstar Energy Europe, Suzuki, and the MX2 class there. MX2 riders are down on the line now, getting ready for their second race. Of course, we will be live with that in about 15 minutes' time, and followed by the MX1 race 2. So, that's it for our live show this week in Finland. Join us in 2 weeks when we go to another brand new circuit in Germany at the Lausitz Ring. So from me here in Finland, and thanks to my guests, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye
Hello
for
to
now.
everybody.